Formula One is never too far away from the headlines, and it returned after its summer holidays with a spa break. From driver market and team news to another pivotal race in the World Championship fight, here are 6 of the biggest talking points from the Belgian Grand Prix weekend. 1. Verstappen and Red Bull entering 2013 title territory. The pace that we had with both Max and Checo was enough to easily pass Carlos and bring home probably one of the most dominant performances that we've had as a team since either 2010 or 2013. That was Christian Horner's assessment of Red Bull's performance across the weekend at Spa, evoking memories of Sebastian Vettel's 9-race win streak to end the 2013 season that brought the Germans' 4th straight title for the squad. Red Bull had a particular advantage around the long Spa layout, but the confidence Verstappen currently has in the RB18 combined with Ferrari's inability to resurrect its title charge is combining to ease his passage to a surely inevitable second world title. Now his points lead is 93 and over Perez, not Leclerc. It was the latter that needed to win every race from Spa to Abu Dhabi to have a hope of winning the championship if Verstappen hit no trouble, but the Dutchman and his team are so good right now, even starting at the back of the pack and having to fight back through it is of little concern. Whether it's the tight Hungaroring or the overtaking friendly Spa, Verstappen can seemingly win from anywhere right now. 2. Spa's setup requirements favored Red Bull. Red Bull has long had the class car package of the first season of F1's new rule cycle, but things have generally been very close with Ferrari no matter what track type the championship was visiting. But at Spa, as Sainz acknowledged, the team was on a different planet. The grid penalty situation rather disguised qualifying, but Verstappen's Q3 topping advantage of 0.632s was stunning. Then in the race, his medium tire shot 1 minute and 49.354 seconds set on lap 3-2 was unbeatable against Leclerc's empty tank soft tire run right at the end, albeit with the caveat that the Monegasque had to overtake Fernando Alonso thanks to Ferrari's latest, questionable strategy call. The hotter conditions on race day favored Red Bull as it meant the tire degradation factor became about keeping the rear tires alive rather than avoiding front graining, which has hurt it on occasions this year. But Verstappen is brilliant at tire management, although, as he acknowledged post-race, this is an often overlooked part of his game, such as his fantastic speed and car control. 3. Leclerc's misery run continues, with some help from his rival. This wasn't a vintage Leclerc weekend, although as was the case for so many the confusing state of the post-qualifying grid penalties obscured the picture. Another small Ferrari error, sending him out on fresh softs for the first Q3 runs rather than used to help build confidence for the final flyers, didn't help, but he was second best to Sainz in qualifying even with a fresh engine. In the race, things might have gone smoother had he been able to make his first lap passing attempt on Verstappen's stick, but it wasn't an easy situation. It was, however, the outcome of that fight that undid Leclerc's race as he was unfortunate to pick up Verstappen's discarded visor tear off in his front right brake duct shortly afterwards. That meant a safety car stop and running offset to the rest to the finish. Then it bit him again late on when a sensor failing from the brake overheating meant his pit lane speed limiter was a fraction off and he copped a penalty, dropping him to 6th in the final classification. Major misfortune has been a central theme of Leclerc's first title challenge, and after the latest setback he seemed to be all but saying his defeat is inevitable. It is definitely looking extremely difficult now, especially after the pace they've shown at Spa, he concluded. 4. A rare Hamilton racing error has big and bumpy consequences. Lewis Hamilton is one of the cleanest racers on the F1 grid. Yes, there have been moments where he has been to blame for a rival crashing, e.g. at Silverstone versus Verstappen last year, but it is his ability to generally keep things fair on track that set him apart from other F1 legends Ayrton Senna and Michael Schumacher. But Hamilton badly messed up on the first lap at Spa, with his decision to stay close to the racing line while trying to go around the outside of old rival Alonso into the first part of Les Combes. Hamilton said the Alpine was in his blind spot on the inside, but Alonso simply had nowhere left to go, having taken to the curbs in avoidance when the Mercedes came across, and the subsequent contact sent Hamilton bouncing dramatically over the runoff and eventually into retirement. The stewards took the view that it was a first-lap incident with a lot of movement relative to other cars in the first few corners and so took no further action. Not that it soothed Alonso, who lost out after making a mega start while Perez dithered ahead and was typically scathing in his team radio assessment of Hamilton's actions. 5. Hamilton's post-DNF stewards warning of the latest FIA authoritative stamp. Shortly after Hamilton had finally made it back to the Spa pits following his walk down the dusty Spa access road, a perplexing stewards document was released. This was headed Offense Car 44 Refusal to Visit Medical Center and concerned Hamilton having apparently refused to visit the event medical service following his crash on lap 1 where the medical warning light threshold was exceeded, and only did so after the race director informed the team that further action could be taken if he did not, per the document's contents. The steward's explanation was that this was not the first time in 2022 that a driver had refused to go to the medical center for evaluation in similar crash circumstances, although they did acknowledge it was the first time concerning Hamilton. Indeed, The warning issued essentially at the behest of Niels Wittek demonstrates how concerned the governing body is by such actions and that it wants to eradicate them. But it also marks the latest round of the FIA clamping down on the drivers in 2022, which goes back to the early season arguments over wearing jewelry and compliant fireproof underwear. 6. The summer break driver market drama has harmed reputations. Given how the summer break started, with Aston Martin sensationally announcing it had hired Alonso for 2023 to replace the retiring Vettel, the first race back was always going to be explosive given the parties involved could finally fully face the media. Alonso was as punchy with his soundbites as one would expect of a driver so savvy in playing the spotlight game. But it was his comment that Otmar probably didn't know anything that likely stung for Otmar Szafnauer. However, the Alpine team boss clarified there was no rift with the departing Spaniard and claimed he hadn't been told of Alonso's Aston signing ahead of time simply because there wasn't enough left to phone him after Alonso had informed Renault CEO Luca De Meo and Alpine boss Laurent Rossi, plus his engineers and mechanics, in the 30 minutes before the news broke. Szafnauer was also very involved in giving Alpine's side of the Oscar Piastri saga, saying he wished the reigning Formula 2 champion had a bit more integrity. In response, McLaren boss Zak Brown hit back saying, "I'm not sure he comes with the highest level of credibility," and making accusations around ethics in reference to Racing Point's pink Mercedes 2020 design when Szafnauer helmed that squad. All very Piranha Club stuff, but given Piastri is still a total unknown at F1 level, his reputation is being similarly stained by this affair. As Mercedes team boss Toto Wolff warned, some of the kids should be wary on Twitter what they said about multinational organizations. The driver McLaren wants Piastri to replace, Daniel Ricciardo, was forthright and emotional with his response at Spa to his effective sacking by the Orange team. This was to his credit, but in the elder Australian's case it is his on-track performances that are harming his reputation rather than any paddock politicking. What are your thoughts about Belgian Grand Prix? Let us know in a comment section below. Don't forget to like and subscribe. Thank you and see you in the next video.